This is Red and Blue Smoke. Welcome back to the Talk of Champions podcast network. I'm your host, Zach Berry, joining me like he does every week on this here show, Mr. Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market. Greg, good morning. How are we doing?
Great. Ready for this Georgia Tech weekend to get going.
Probably doing a little bit better than you were late afternoon Saturday, as the Rebels were in a dogfight with Tulane. But we were talking a little bit before we hit record. I was oddly very calm. I don't know if I just kind of subconsciously thought that eventually Ole Miss would figure out the backup quarterback and they would put him in a bind, and they did. Once he got off the script on the first couple drives. Now, to his credit, Kai Horton, he did hit a couple big throws. He had some big third down runs to extend some drives, and he played well. But Ole Miss, to their credit, Pete Golding made some adjustments at halftime, and Ole Miss covered and won comfortably. The talk outside of Jackson Dart, which that was as good a individual performance I've seen since probably Matt Corral and Neyland Stadium in 2021. Kaden Davis kind of stole the show with that 56-yarder, huh?
Yeah. Well, whenever I originally thought, I was like, we should win by 2 touchdowns. And then about halfway through the game, I'm like, I don't even know if we're going to win this game, but the second half adjustments from Pete Golden, it really, was the turning point. I mean, you could tell they got after him a little bit more and put some pressure and, kind of got off the script a little bit. And just that Jackson Dart play on 4th and 3. I mean, that's just an all-time gamer play from him, and kind of really broke the game wide open.
Yeah, it was. Look, I was telling people I was probably the only person braver than me on Saturday was probably Kaden Davis with the resolve he showed on that 56-yarder. I took both of my kids to a watch party and watched the Ole Miss game at the same time. It was when I say it was taxing, Greg, it was taxing.
It was where we were watching. I was watching it with D Hobbs, and we were both looking at each other, and he goes, "Is the kicker coming out after?" I mean, it was a false. Wasn't there a delay of game to push it back 5 yards?
It was a dead ball penalty. It was a false start, so it saved Ole Miss, which I guess we'll never know. Dart broke the initial tackle, so he might have gotten the first down anyway. But Tulane was not happy because they thought they had gotten the stop. So Ole Miss gets to, push him back 5 yards. Kiffin said in pregame, Kaden Davis told him, if you have the wind in the second half, I'm good from 67. And I don't know if you saw the side angle of his kick when it went through the uprights. That thing might have been good from 70.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was pretty speechless. We were both looking at each other like, is he really about, 56? I mean, we were just kind of speechless, and, it worked out. He nailed it, and, pressure packed situation. And it's good to, depend on a good kicker in that situation to where you can pull the trigger on that. So I did not know going into that we had a really, a kicker like that, but you got to feel good about the special teams now.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny because Kaden Davis was a kickoff specialist at A&M, which, I mean, kind of goes to show maybe Jimbo Fisher's out of touch with everything these days. But, quite the leg. But, yeah, I was juggling a lot. We were trying to keep, 2 kids entertained, watch the game, talk with everyone there. I actually had some had a little Mexicali dip, had a little corn dip as well. That was a big hit. And
I was doing the complete opposite. I literally was trying not to drink a whole half gallon of Tito's vodka. So,
hey, you know what? I'll say this. Normally, Greg, no free ads, but on a day like that, when we're out somewhere and I'm trying to, be responsible, Athletic Brewing brews a really good NA beer. And I've tried. They have a light, they have a golden ale, and then they have a couple IPAs. I'm not too keen on the IPAs these days. But the golden ale and the athletic light is what they call it. Is if you're out and about and you need to stay sober and drive, if you poured it in a glass, Greg, you would not know it was in a beer.
Yeah, just shout out to any Ole Miss fan that can stay sober and watch an Ole Miss game. We should give them gold. We should give them gold stars for that. That's quite a feather to have in the hat.
Yeah. So, but yeah, look, after the game was over, we're trying to wrangle up these kids, and there were a bunch of Ole Miss people there, and they were asking me what I thought, and I said, look, obviously, first off, a win's a win, but the old adage of good teams win, great teams cover, which was also in play here. But I'll say this, where Lane Kiffin is trying to get this program and where he is wanting to elevate this program into being a very relevant SEC West contender, a national brand, you have to win those games. When you don't have your A game, you're on the road in a raucous environment. I mean, it was sold out. Ullman was packed. It was loud. Now, a lot of that noise was from Ole Miss fans too, but your program shows a lot of resolve and some resiliency there, winning that type of game. Because, like you said, Ole Miss for a while didn't look like they belonged in that stadium. They looked like they were about to get run out of the building. Tulane goes up 17.
They shut down Judkins early, and the crowd was in it, and it just didn't look great. But I mean, wins like that definitely builds character. I mean, you think read the comments after Jackson Dart, after the game, he's like, "Look, we would lose that game last year, but we're a different team, and we've learned from our mistakes, and kind of." And so you kind of look like the team. You see the team as building character and building. A solid base for the year. So, yeah, I mean, hats off to him. I mean, I know for sure when you look on that 4th and 3 where he threw the touchdown, I mean, like every route was jumped, every route was covered, and he, literally looked at 3 options and made a play and, made a big pass and touchdown to Trigg. So that was, that's just a huge builder for the next couple of games, I think.
Yeah, and I'll say, Judkins was probably frustrated. He would probably admit that. Couldn't get going on the run game, and he had a big touchdown run late. Also had a big catch on the sideline on that drive when Ole Miss went hurry up and put Tulane in a bind. He had a big reception to get him down into the red zone. So finding ways to win on the road like that, that's the type of stuff you need if you're wanting to take that next step into that upper
and
echelon.
Another thing is if it's not there, you got to find a way to put yourself in the game. So that's another thing that I liked a lot. Judkins didn't have his A game, but he was still stuck in there and found a way to make plays whenever the team needed it.
Yeah, it was an exciting second half. It was good to see Dart play really well. I mean, he was lights out. I think even the interception, Dayton Wade slipped coming out of his break. It was a good ball. It's either a catch or a pass breakup, so I don't put that on him. But yeah, great win, moving to 2-0, and then now you host Georgia Tech this weekend. Before we get into that, also, obviously want to remind you, Greg is here. Title sponsor of this year's show is LB's Meat Market. Go find them, 2008 University Avenue. That's Suite E. You can't miss it. Got the new signage. Looks good. In Oxford, I know you got the plate lunches back. Tell the folks what you got on deck for Thursday, Friday plate lunches and what y'all are whipping up this week.
I think I'm going to start doing the Philly cheesesteaks on Thursday and Friday. That's pretty solid. Numero uno for LB's lunches back in the day. So we're going to do the Philly cheesesteak on Thursday and Friday. I've got a buffalo chicken bacon ranch that we're going to do on Thursday. So my mom always likes to, bring sauces, just because we just like sauces up there. So she brought a buttery buffalo sauce, and it is really, really good. And it's really, really good on that chicken bacon ranch. So we're going to do a buffalo bacon ranch sandwich. We're going to have the pulled pork. I started doing pulled chicken. The pulled chicken's actually really good. It's, kind of an alternative to the pulled pork, and probably going to smoke some ribs for Friday. I feel like people might want to take a rack of ribs home for Saturday. So just going to try to do basic stuff. Maybe do a little chicken Alfredo. Maybe not. We'll see. We're always going to have that smoky bacon burger, the pulled pork or the pulled chicken, and then the Philly cheese. So that's the three for sure things that we always have. And we just kind of patch everything together on the other plate lunches. On other stuff on Thursday, Friday. I did get a DM saying that I needed to bring back the smoky mac and cheese. So we'll make some smoky mac and cheese for Thursday and Friday too.
Ooh, baby. Love that.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with some good smoked cheddar cheese on top of on top of a homemade mac and cheese. So yeah, you can, that's gonna be a thing, because we were doing potato salad and baked beans just because it's real easy. So kind of got called out on being lazy. So I'll make some mac and cheese for Thursday and Friday.
You could probably do just about anything to mac and cheese, and I'd probably eat it.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
Yeah, anything and everything on mac and cheese. As long as it's not I don't know. It's hard for me to knock the Kraft single box, but it is in a pinch. You can put it in the microwave. It turns out pretty good.
Yeah, I was saying that about at our watch party Saturday. Buffalo chicken dip is another thing where I could eat that with just you could probably just give me a piece of a tire and I'd dip it in some buffalo chicken dip.
Because everybody likes to eat tires,
Hey, when you if that's the vessel for buffalo chicken dip, I might suck it up if I'm in a bind. All right, we're gonna take our first break. When we come back, we're gonna get into some themed cuisine here as Ole Miss hosts Georgia Tech, 6:30 Saturday night, SEC Network. So hang tight. We'll be right back.
The College Corner is headed to Oxford. Stop by their new location in the Oxford Commons off Sisk Avenue. They'll have 4,000 square feet of Rebel gear ready for your trip to the Grove. On your next trip to Oxford, stop by the College Corner or our other great locations in Ridgeland and Flowood. Hats, shirts, polos, pullovers, sweats, t-shirts. College Corner has it all. And as always, you can visit us online at collegecornerstore.com. That's collegecornerstore.com. The College Corner, where your game day apparel meets.
Are you looking at cutting your health insurance premiums by as much as 20 to 30%? Are you aging into Medicare and need help finding a Medicare supplement plan? Call Drew Moak of USA Benefits Group at 601-953-8449. Drew is an Ole Miss grad located in Mississippi and licensed in 7 states. He works with the nation's second largest health insurance brokerage with access to 35 different carriers, and he can help you with any of your health insurance needs. From regular health plans to life insurance to dental and vision and even Medicare, he has it all covered. Now more than ever, it is critical to have a health insurance agent who is local and accessible. So call Drew Moak at 601-953-8449 and get your free quote today. And we are back here on Red and Blue Smoke. Zach Berry, Greg Jones here with you. All right, Greg. So we're gonna keep this theme going this year as we do these episodes that are catered towards literally and figuratively catered towards the opponent. Looking at different food items, traditions, what have you, with the opponent, where they're from, all of that. Georgia Tech will be in Oxford this weekend. They are in Atlanta. At least to my knowledge, not a lot of staples that jump out to you, but there's some establishments that Atlanta's known for, either good or bad. So let's kick it off with
right?
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, we that's on the docket. Hold your horses now. One good or bad that Atlanta's known for. I feel like it can be controversial. The Varsity. I know that weirdly enough, they are known for their naked dog, which is interesting because I'm not doing that, but a hot dog with no dressing. Now you can get it slathered with, chili, slaw, both, all the condiments, whatever. but it's like the MVP classic. Like that's like their thing. It's just 2 naked dogs and fries and a drink. You and I have talked about hot dogs a lot over the years on podcasts. You know, is it a sandwich? Is it not? What's your go-to hot dog? You know, whether that's at home making some gourmet, or if you're on the course, you're getting one at the turn. What's your go-to look for a hot dog? What's your dressing look like?
Man, I mean, honestly, I know I'm probably going to get yelled at for this, but I like mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, and relish, and onions if available.
Everything. Okay.
I'm through the garden. Put it all on there. You know, maybe get some mustard and some ketchup in my beard and hold it over for a little snack on the next hole. But no, yeah, I'm throw it through the garden. I like everything on it.
I am typically just mustard only. Now if onions and relish is available, I will absolutely do that. I will say this, shout out to my buddy Theo Vaughn, as he likes to say, Pinos on that bit. Give me a little, if you got jalapenos, if you've got some fresh jollies, I'll throw those on there.
Oh, yeah. Now, if there's a coleslaw, I'm putting that coleslaw on that hot dog. I mean,
tuck them down in there, nestle them next to that dog, a little crunch.
See, I like to put the toppings on top and then just pick the dog up to where the toppings go to the bottom of the bun to where I can get the full.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a fat kid tip for you.
Strategery. I like it. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you though. Like I'm not putting any ketchup on there or mayonnaise, but I don't really, I'm not going to discriminate against a lot of toppings. They're like hot sauce. They got those little Louisiana hot sauce packets at golf courses now. I might, throw a little hot sauce on there, but yeah, I'm pretty standard mustard, relish, onion, and it's got to be.
I do get skeptical about the chili. Sometimes like it depends.
Yeah.
On the chili, because there's some good chili and there's bad chili, and I just don't want to, try to threaten my hot dog with bad chili.
Are you full roster in the chili, beans, tomatoes, everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. Well, there's some people that don't like the beans in the chili, and there's some people that do. I'm literally on. I can do whatever, but I prefer the beans and the tomatoes.
Yeah, I do too. I like that.
I mean, sometimes it's just a basic plain meat chili. I mean, it gets kind of runny, and
yeah.
I
then
like
the bun gets soggy.
Yeah, I like a good thick chili with some some tomatoes and
hard.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean it's chili. You gotta put the beans in the bones for sure.
It's got to pack a punch. All right, another staple. I always think of this as an Atlanta thing. Maybe it's because of Ludacris, but chicken and waffles. I know that's a big brunch thing. What's your take on chicken and waffles? Do you enjoy it, and how do you kind of, if you do make it on your own, what's kind of your way of some good fried chicken with waffles?
Honestly, I kind of cheat and I go to Larson's and get their chicken tenders, and I already have the waffle maker up here at the hotel. So, I mean, I can whip up some really good chicken and waffles, but the chicken tender is the key. I feel like, I mean, sometimes sometimes when you're in a bind, the chicken tender is the better way to go. But I mean, I like those fried chicken thighs, man. I mean, that like kind of that dark meat, make like maybe cut the waffle in half and make a sandwich out of it with some syrup and maybe some some hot sauce, and kind of make a fried chicken waffle sandwich. I like to get creative with the food. I like to just not sit there and just take a bite of the chicken and then take a bite of the waffle. I like to get both of them in action together.
Yeah, I'm honestly normally not a huge like savory sweet combo guy, but a good waffle goes a long way and kind of amplifies the chicken.
I mean, the batter on that chicken is key. Like if it's got a good crunchy batter, like then you're in business. But if it has like a light batter, like you might need to need to look for other options. But a good crispy batter on on that chicken is the key for a good chicken waffle.
Yeah, I honestly, if the waffle's good enough, and like you said, if the chicken's got some crunch and it's a good piece of meat, I don't really need a ton of syrup. But I will say, if you want to mix in like a hot honey syrup,
Ooh,
that's next level. Yeah.
yeah. Is that just straight up hot sauce with some honey and they just kind of
Yeah.
together?
Yeah, yeah, because like it's a big thing with like pizza. Like people put like the hot honey drizzle on pizza a lot. So I do enjoy that. There are some pizza places around here that do it very well.
I
Yeah,
wonder
I
if
always
sriracha syrup sounds good. Sounds good.
yeah, I mean I love a good little bit of heat on anything. So I'm appreciative of any kind of hot sauce if you're gonna if you can if it's tastefully done, you know, you can't overpower everything else with the hot sauce. But yeah, a little hot honey drizzle would probably go pretty far on a chicken and waffle plate.
Are you a honey mustard guy on tenders or not?
I like honey mustard. Yeah, I probably, I lean honey mustard, barbecue, sweet and sour. I'm not super big on ranch. We talked about this on our show before. If it's a homemade ranch, I'll give it a shot. Like if you're making it from scratch, I want to see what you're working with. But yeah, I'll probably go honey mustard and barbecue. Mix them together a little bit.
Oh yeah, always about mixing stuff together. I'm a big fan of that.
All right. Elsewhere, I mean, I know that it's honestly I have not dabbled, but interestingly enough, there is a strip club in Atlanta that is known for having really good wings. That is Magic City. We don't have to talk about the specific establishment, but as far as wings, we've talked about it plenty. Flats, drums, all of that. But
man, you just put a holiday plan for me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the wings at the Purple Chapel for sure.
It's it's a popular
Is there
popular
a
place.
buffet? Is it a buffet or is it just strictly wings?
I want to say it is a buffet because that's a
man.
thing. That's like an American thing. Is like strip clubs have buffets.
Well, I remember going to Cheetah's and they literally have like a Michelin restaurant in there, like serving steaks and like pork chops and stuff. Like so, like they literally have a steakhouse in Cheetah. So I mean,
I imagine those places have to have the health department grade somewhere very well lit. But
yeah, you want to walk in. Welcome to our club. I mean, here's our A review on food inspections. So you're more than welcome to eat a good meal here also.
yeah, if it's not your thing, you can hang out over here and just have a nice gourmet meal. Yeah, I asked an Atlanta born and raised a buddy, and that was one of the first things he said was he mentioned the wings. We've talked about flats versus drums. It's flats all day. But in terms of like other well-known cuisine, I mean, we talked about the Varsity, and then Mary Mac's Tea Room is another one, like traditional Southern food. If you're getting like a meat and three somewhere, what's like your go-to meat and three plate?
Oh man, I mean, like, see, I'm a country fried steak guy.
Yes.
I like the white gravy. I'm a white gravy guy.
Yeah.
Our fried chicken. That's always a good. I'm particular about meatloaf, just because like I feel like I spoiled myself on how good my meatloaf is. Not trying to put myself on a pedestal here, but
flex on them.
I mean, that ribeye sausage meatloaf from LB's is to die for. So, let's see. I mean, I'm a fried chicken guy. I mean, but Like, I feel like, who do you think? Well, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Larson's does the best fried chicken in Oxford. Like,
Okay.
I wish I could find. Well, I mean, we do have a Popeyes, but just I just think them ladies back there know what's going on, and they always give me two thighs, and I like the Brussels. I usually get the Monday at Larson's is I get two chicken thighs, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage because I don't know, I guess I'm a cabbage guy. I like cabbage.
If you can do it right, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, in the I've got to look at the mac and cheese. Like if the cheese is baked on the top, like if they make the mac and cheese and they put cheese on top and then put it back in the oven where the cheese is baked on.
We've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. Take advantage of weekly blackjack tournaments and a brand new collection of high-end games for a chance at real cash rewards. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in your hands. And the best part is you don't even need to wear pants. Your adventure at the MyBookie Casino begins today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code TOC for Talk of Champions, TOC. That's promo code TOC to secure yourself a sweet deposit bonus. And that's not all, because their revamped loyalty program ensures that you'll be showered with rewards, including free spins, cashback offers, and a host of exclusive VIP perks. The more you play, the more you win. Play anytime, anywhere with the MyBookie Casino. And make sure to check out MyBookie for all your gaming needs at www.mybookie.ag. That's www.mybookie.ag.
I usually go mac and cheese. I kind of worry about potatoes because some people don't use homemade potatoes. They use the instant potato. Just not a big fan of instant potato. Potato salad, depends on the potato salad. I like that white loaded baked potato salad. If we're going to do like maybe ribs, baked with the white baked potato salad and baked beans, that's always a nice option. But hash brown casseroles, broccoli and rice casserole. Just trying to think of Ajax's menu of all the stuff that they have. Black eyed peas. I love black eyed peas, especially when I mix it up with my cornbread. Man, I just named off like a bunch of stuff, but I think my go-to has got to be the fried chicken or the country fried steak. Depends on the mashed potatoes, but I gotta see the potatoes or the mac and cheese to make sure on my final decision.
I'm going country fried steak, and with the gravy, that's enough starch for me, so I don't need mashed potatoes. So I'm probably going the country fried steak with the gravy. I'm good with white or dark gravy. I'm not too particular. And then I'm probably going collards, especially if you throw a little bit of bacon in there. I love some collards, mac and cheese, and then I'm probably
if you see a ham bone in the greens, like you definitely need to get the greens.
Yeah.
That's the true sign of you're like, hey, I'm at the right place to eat.
And then honestly, I might throw in like some either some okra or like if you do some like fried chicken livers, I can definitely.
Oh, so you're a liver guy? You're not a gizzard guy?
Yeah, and like you get a little remoulade with it too. Like if you get some house made.
That's when you make your own sauce. You take that mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, and mix it together with your finger to make sure it's really good. Taste it. I'm a liver guy. I love a chicken liver dinner for me. I mean, I'm a liver guy. It's so weird that people are either liver or gizzard. Like it's no. Yeah, I like both of them. I mean, it's one or the other. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Kelly English. They do a really good fried chicken liver at Second Line to go. I usually get it with the cheeseburger at lunch. It's their sauce is A1 for sure.
That's a solid combo. Chicken livers and chicken liver with a hamburger instead of French fries.
Yeah. Especially I think the key is they do the They do the cheeseburger on French bread.
Oh,
just
wow. Yeah.
Sets it off. All right. Final break here. When we come back, we're going to look into week 3. Not the best slate. Week 4 is when things get real fun. Next week is going to be a doozy. But we're going to hear from the sponsors. And when we come back, Greg and I will take a stab at giving you some winners for week 3. So hang tight. We'll be right back. This podcast is brought to you by Cherokee Valley Golf Course in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Get on over to see Cody Allen and the crew to take on the challenge of their wide, plush Zoysia fairways and large championship Bermuda greens. They have 2 putting greens to hone in your game with the flat stick, a driving range, and a chipping green to tighten up the short game. Book a tee time online at olivebranch.com or give them a call at 662-893-4444. That's Cherokee Valley Golf Course in Olive Branch, Mississippi. This podcast also comes to you thanks to Bluff City Advisory Group, Memphis's leading team of finance professionals who can provide advanced assistance with financial planning, pension, and qualified plan support, and business and estate planning strategies as well. Former Ole Miss Rebel and founding partner Ben Still, along with his elite-level customer service team, make it their goal to help you meet the ongoing demands of your financial needs. Learn about this and more at bluffcityadvisory.com. And we are back here, Red and Blue Smoke. Before we get into picks, I do want to remind you this show brought to you by our good buddy Drew Moak and the folks at USA Benefits Group. If you are trying to cut those health insurance premiums by as much as 20 to 30%, and you're aging into Medicare and need help finding a Medicare supplement plan, give Drew and USA Benefits Group a call, 601-953-8449. He is an Ole Miss grad. He's located in Mississippi, but he is licensed in 6 other states. So that's 7 total. He can help you out. Nation's second largest health insurance brokerage. He has access to 35 different carriers. He can help you with any and all of your health insurance needs, from regular plans to dental to vision, Medicare. He's got it all covered. It's critical to have this under control and keep it in check. It's also critical to have a health insurance agent who is local and accessible. So give Drew Moak a call, 601-953-8449, or visit their website, usabg.com/DMOAK, and get your free quote today. All right.
Is he licensed in Texas?
I will
'Cause
actually.
I think Jimbo Fisher would be a good client to pick up after that nice performance down in Miami.
Yeah, it might be. They might already be in contact. I'm sure Ross is familiar with Drew's work after being at Ole Miss for a couple of years, so they might already be in contact. But yeah, that's a good call. Mel Tucker too. He might need some as well.
Man, whew.
All right.
I mean, like that was one of my highlights of Saturday was Miami beating Texas A&M. I was like, man, everybody thought Texas A&M was just going to roll them up. I mean, and it was the complete opposite. So
you hate to see it.
Maybe Texas A&M looks vulnerable, and we get them at home this year.
Hey.
So maybe that might change to for the good guys there.
There's already some parity down there. They are already trying to figure things out after week 2. Speaking of trying to figure things out, LSU at Mississippi State, 11 a.m. ESPN. LSU, the favorite here. They are giving 9.5 to the Bulldogs. I don't know if you watched it. Mississippi State snuck out of Davis Wade Stadium with a dub over Arizona in overtime. They were fortunate. Arizona turned it over quite a bit. I believe Jaden DeLara had 4 picks and still needed overtime to get that one. I like LSU in this spot. I think Brian Kelly is going to have a plan. They're going to be ready for this new look offense at Mississippi State. They're running the ball a lot more. Will Rogers, through 2 games, Greg, has only thrown the ball 46 times.
Yeah, they're trying to find an identity. They're trying to identify what they are. After losing Leach, and it's I think it's going to take a couple years for them to figure it out. But yeah, that's not a Will Rogers statistic that he's probably liking these days.
No. Now they run it pretty well. Jaquavius Marks is a good back. The total is 54.5. I feel like that's borderline because I think LSU could get out and run away with this one, but State's going to try to shrink this one, deflate the ball a little bit, play keep away. I like LSU to win by 10 or 12. I think Jaden Daniels will run around enough to make plays. And defensively, I think the noise has been loud enough with Harold Perkins moving to an off-ball linebacker spot to where I think they're going to unleash him in this game and let him rush the passer. And I think they get after Will Rogers and they get it done on the road.
Yeah, I can easily see this being 21-0, right after the first quarter, and LSU State kind of claws back. When you go to Starkville, you just can't shoot yourself in the foot. That's what they depend on with those cowbells and the false start penalties and the confusion that the cowbell brings. So with that being said, I think LSU definitely covers the 9.5 with ease.
All right. Moving on, let's stay at 11 a.m. SEC Network, number 15, Kansas State at Missouri. Woo, the Tigers had their hands full a week ago. Middle Tennessee had the ball with a chance to win that ball game. Could not get it done, but Missouri, man, they are struggling out the gate. Luther Burden, as promised, is getting the ball a lot, but I like what Chris Kleiman's done at K-State. You talk about Mississippi State trying to find an identity. Kansas State has an identity, and they know who they are. I like Will Howard, the quarterback. They're given 5 here. I feel like this is free money, but Vegas likes to trick you into taking these weird lines. I like the Wildcats, even though it's on the road. I know Missouri can get spunky up at Faro Field. They got spunky last year with Georgia. I just think this K-State team is too good.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you on it too. There's always kind of fishy lines in Las Vegas, and they throw something out there for you to be like, hey, this might be too good to be true. I mean, I know Missouri played bad last week, but sometimes you just want to take the better situation and the better players. And I feel like it might be a close game, but surely Kansas State wins by a touchdown.
All right, 2:30 CBS, Sanford Stadium, South Carolina at number 1, Georgia. I know we just used the term spunky when talking about Mizzou playing upset, playing spoiler at home. South Carolina's been spunky in this rivalry game a couple times in the last decade or so. I just don't see that happening this year. I know that they had a really good game a week ago. Rattler was outstanding in that one. I just don't know if that offensive line is going to be able to handle Georgia. Strangely enough, though, Greg, do you know how many sacks Georgia has this year?
Well, I would hope it would be at least double digits with the two teams they played.
You would be wrong. They have 1 sack this year. I like for that number to grow after Saturday. I think they get after Rattler. The line, though, 27.5.
That's a lot of points. And this is probably the 3rd year in a row that they've been 20-some-odd point underdogs. I know 3 years ago, or they were, I think they ended up losing by a touchdown or 10 points, or they were in the game, pretty much. Then they got blue. Man, I for some strange reason, I'm taking South Carolina. I don't know why. Just because Georgia didn't cover last week. They got clipped by the hook, right? It was like 42.5.
They won 45-3. Yeah, Ball State kicked a field goal.
And won and took the money on the hook. I mean, who knows what this Georgia team is? I mean, that's just when I go back to scheduling non-conference games and people showing up to your town and wanting to see your football team not play either Mercer or Ball State or Kennesaw State or whoever. With that being said, I think I'm going to take South Carolina with the points here and just hopefully somehow, some way pull this out.
Yeah, I definitely will not lock this one up on our show tomorrow. Hit that line. You can find that on the Talk of Champions podcast network, wherever you get your podcast, and on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube at OM Spirit. But yeah, if you made me pick it, I'd take the points. It's a rivalry game. Georgia might get out to a 2-3 score lead and just kind of put it in cruise control and chill. And again, Rattler has that ability to make plays. Xavier Legette has been outstanding. Probably the only receiver next to Trey Harris that's gotten off to an outstanding start. Only one touchdown, but he has been a big play machine for them. He is a specimen for sure. 6'3", close to 230 pounds. I think he can win some one-on-one matchups and get them down there into the red zone, and then you'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'm not gonna put any real green paper money on this one. But yeah, I'm with you. That's just a lot of points, and you'd like to think that
surely South Carolina could probably score at least 14 or 21 points. I don't see them getting shut out.
No, I don't either.
I don't know. It's just a lot of points for an SEC matchup. It
is.
And of course, I might be wrong, and it's going to be 42-7. So that's just probably what will happen.
On the flip side, close game here. Not a ton of points being handed out. Tennessee at Florida. Greg, I've listened to some podcasts this week. Some national guys are hyping up the Swamp and how it's still a tough place to play. And Tennessee has not handled the Swamp well and all of that. I just don't find Ben Hill Griffin Stadium that daunting anymore. It is a night game. I'm going with Josh Heupel. I think they're going to be prepared. They obviously came out flat as hell last week against Austin Peay. The Governors gave them all they wanted for a half. I like Tennessee's offense. Milton was all over the place a week ago, but I think this is a get-right game for them, even though it's a conference opponent and it's Florida. It's a rivalry game. I just don't think Florida's very good. I'm going Tennessee here, and it's only 6.5. I think Tennessee can win by 10, 13 points on the road.
Yeah, I think Tennessee rolls in this, honestly. Florida's not your mom and pop Florida like they used to be. Aaron Hernandez isn't there anymore, and it's not a hard place to play. And I know the "I Won't Back Down" is really cool, and the whole stadium sings that song. But they're going to be down 35-10 when they sing that song. So not many people probably going to be singing that song this weekend. But I think Tennessee rolls.
Yeah, I agree there. All right, let's go to Fayetteville. This one's kind of fun. Same time as Ole Miss Georgia Tech kicks, 6:30 ESPN2. BYU and the Cougs travel up to Northwest Arkansas to take on a 2-0 Arkansas team. New look over there for Sam Pittman's bunch. 2 new coordinators. Handled Western Carolina out of the gate, and then Kent State last week was a snoozer. Rocket Sanders didn't play. He was rehabbing a knee. I don't know if he's in for this game or not, but KJ Jefferson still under center for the Hogs, going up against Keaton Slovis and BYU. Only 8 points here. To me, this seems like one of those games, Greg, that BYU typically with just, especially on the road. And look, I know the joke is, their team's all older because they've all been on missions and they're back and they're 22, 23 years old. So probably a veteran bunch that's going to be prepared. They're not going to be scared by the environment or the travel. Kalani Sitake's a good coach. This is another one I'm staying away from. I'm not going to put real money on it or lock it up or anything, but BYU could sneak up and make this a ball game. I think this could be a fun one down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm taking BYU on this. I just think that, if it's more than a touchdown, I feel like this is a closer game than more than a touchdown. So, I mean, the experience factor definitely helps BYU. But with that being said, Arkansas didn't look, over, over the top last week. And so I'm going to take BYU and in a close one, either a touchdown or a field goal separates this game.
All right. Let's get into Ole Miss, Georgia Tech here. The rest of the slate's pretty boring. Bunch of non-con matchups, bunch of snoozers. But let's get into Georgia Tech, Ole Miss, 6:30 SEC Network. Ole Miss, obviously coming off the big win on the road against Tulane. Georgia Tech handled South Carolina State, getting back into the win column after losing the opener to Louisville. 19 is the spread that I'm seeing right now. The total is 63. I'd probably lean. Man, that's tight. I'm probably gonna go.
I mean,
under.
Georgia Tech they did play a really good first half against Louisville. I mean, they were up.
They did. I thought they were gonna win that ball game. They were fun. Haynes King, the transfer from A&M, looked good. He's already thrown 7 touchdowns this year, 600 yards passing. I think Georgia Tech covers, but Ole Miss wins comfortably. I think this is kind of a snoozer game where Ole Miss gets out to a lead and kind of kicks back. Ideally,
that's what I was kind of hoping they do against Tulane is get out to an early lead, but just I mean you really don't you can't get a real good feel for this Ole Miss team yet. I think the win yet last week and the plays that were made, the defense that adjusted in the second half, they're coming into their own, and I think they're still learning and building character. With this, I mean, you've got to it's a 6:30 game. You have, it should be, the vault should be, filled to the brim, like Lane hopes, which it should be, because it's a 6:30 game, and it's you'll have plenty of time to hang out in the Grove and do that sort of thing. I've talked to a bunch of Georgia Tech fans, and they've marked this on the list to come to Oxford, because a lot of Georgia Tech fans, because I don't think we haven't played Georgia Tech in anything other than last year at Georgia Tech. Any other? I wish the baseball would set up a home and home with Georgia Tech. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, nice little stadium right there, right on campus. It's you could walk from the Varsity, get you a couple naked dogs, and go watch some baseball.
Yeah. I just think Ole Miss. I mean, they should win comfortably. I just think the 19 might be too many points. So I'm gonna lean Georgia Tech on the under, and probably Lane's listening to the pod right now, and he's like, "Okay, Greg, we'll take that," and then he's probably gonna put 65 up and win 65-14. So it is what it is. So no, for some strange reason, I just think that's too many points.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm taking Georgia Tech to cover and probably leaning under. But then, like you said, Ole Miss will probably come out and roll them, win 51-17 or something. But I think Ole Miss wins comfortably either way. Georgia Tech has improved. I like Brent Key as a coach. Defensively, they're probably going to throw some things at Ole Miss that'll make things interesting early. Kiffin did talk about in his press conference this week. He said he's tried to hire Brent Key a couple times before he got the job at Georgia Tech. So they spent time together at Alabama, so there's some familiarity there. But yeah, I think Ole Miss wins comfortably. I just don't know if they're going to cover the 19.
Yeah, like I said, that's a big number, but who knows? It just the defense is getting better, it seems like, every week, and it's going to be a little bit different being at home and not on the road. So you always want to play really good at home, and you always want to come out and impress the home folks. So I can easily see this being 56-14 or 56-21, but I really want to kind of see Jackson Dart throw the ball around. I mean, there was and try to free up Judkins on the run, because obviously, every team's putting 8 in the box and, are wanting to shut Judkins down. So if Dart, starts, I mean, he's had 2 really good games so far. If you throw it around and kind of free up those free safeties to moving back, instead of coming up, it frees up the running game. So I think they got to, change up the offense to where you're throwing around and being more aggressive on, on stuff like that to free Judkins up, because they're definitely going to concentrate on them.
All right, that's going to do it for week 3 here on Red and Blue Smoke. Shout out to Greg and everyone at LB's. Go over there, get you a plate lunch. I got to get that Philly cheesesteak when I'm in town for Arkansas for sure. And then don't sleep on the chicken bacon ranch and everything else they've got over there. Any other final thoughts? Week 3, hot take. I know everybody's anxious to see what Alabama looks like on the road against South Florida, which is weird, but anything else you're looking at this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, that was that Alabama was surprising. I mean, Texas really just waltzed into Bryant Denny and just took it to them. You've never, since, I mean, the last time that's happened, I think it was an Ole Miss team that did that. Yeah, it's the SEC is, I mean, the SEC West and the SEC in general is, kind of. LSU loses to Florida State. Florida lays a big donut in Utah. So, I mean, it seems like, the SEC dominance isn't, hasn't occurred yet. And, but surely it will come around, this season's early. And, it's kind of hard to know what you're getting with the transfer portal and everything going on with new players coming into, to different schools, so it's kind of it's almost kind of an adjustment. So, but I think Ole Miss will roll this week and have a lot of confidence coming into next week, and LSU should be a really big weekend.
All righty, that's gonna do it. Like I said, we'll have Hit That Line coming to you later this week, and then Ben and I will be doing a flagship as well to get you prepared for Georgia Tech at Ole Miss, 6:30 on SEC Network. Stay locked in at the site, omspirit.com. We will have all of the news and notes leading up to the game. Greg, we appreciate you as always, and we will talk again next week, my friend.
As always, till next week.
All righty, that's going to do it. Like I said, subscribe to the podcast wherever you get them. Talk of Champions Podcast Network. We got you covered every day of the week now, and also on YouTube at OM Spirit. Subscribe, smash that like button, all that good stuff. So for Greg over there, I'm Zach. This has been Red and Blue Smoke. Until next week, we out of here.